My guest today has worked with so many people that is probably one of your favorite songs. He's worked with Black, Alex Isley, Sir, Bibi Bourelly, and the list goes on and on. Masego, the list goes on and on. And now I'm so excited to have him on the show because the Hybrid Soul is your destination for music and culture discovery. And this producer, singer, songwriter has a beautiful song with the legend Stacy Barth that we got to talk about more. And we got to talk about his career and just his introduction to music. Welcome to the show, Tave. How are you today?
Wow, what intro. I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Let's start with your name. When I look at your awards, we see your full name. Where did Tave start? How did you create that for your musical like moniker?
Tave started during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in the music industry for like 15 years plus, as a musical
Mm-hmm.
director and just in music in general, like, just doing this, doing that, trying to figure out kind of where I wanted to fit in the business. And I think transitioning from being an MD to, like really being into my artist phase, I wanted to kind of separate the two. So, even when I made music, I didn't want it to say Steve Octave. I just wanted to say Tave. I wanted people to be like, who's Tave? Tave, and just be like a mystery person kind of thing. I saw people like Money Long do it. I knew her when she was Priscilla Renee. So
Yeah.
it's like her, same with her. She's Gabby. It's just like people really like put a stigma on who they see you or know you as. So I was like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? Let me just go into artist mode and switch it up and just be a sound and a mystery, like no real no name to the sound. So your tape will be associated with this sound. So it's not Steve
Yeah.
Octave, it's just tape. So
Right.
that's how it happened.
So you are like you've added the as far as an artist
Yeah.
to your list of many titles. What so far, what do you like most?
I love the artist side because it's
Yeah.
fully expressively myself. It's like what you
Mm-hmm.
hear from start to finish is what I've had my hand in. Like with working with other artists and doing everything else, I don't have like the first and the last say. Whereas this
Yeah.
is like my art. And it's
Yeah.
like my picture in sound. So
Yeah. Was that always the plan? Because I want to discover you just how you got started just being musically. But was that the plan to be an artist?
it depends, because it's like artistry had so many different kind of stigmas to it, or it's like if you're an
Yeah.
artist, you have to be like this, or if you're an artist, you have to be like that. And like really, all musicians are artists. It's just like we don't take on that title. We just take on the title of being a musician. I'm a musician. I'm a musician first.
Right.
I'm an artist as like as expression. Like as my own output, as my own outlet. So that's my artistry. But I'm a musician still at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought, it's time to just have an outlet to express what I want. And so that's
Right.
the artistry side.
Right. You born and raised in London,
Yeah,
but you have ties in St. Lucia, correct?
yeah, yeah. I'm
I've
St.
never been.
Lucian.
Oh, one of the islands that I have to get to. But I want to find out, like, I love the British soul sound. There's so many
Yeah,
people, even from past to present.
yeah,
How did the soul music grab you? Because you started very early being a
yeah,
musician. How
yeah,
were
yeah.
you in the church, your family? How did that start?
It started really when we moved houses from like I was like 5 years old, and the house that we moved into, they left a piano in the house, and so I always used to just gravitate to the piano and just tinkle on it all the time. And there became a point where I could play a song just, at five, just by myself. And one of my
Hmm.
brothers was like, he could play the piano. Like, and then my mom was like, let's put him into piano lessons. And then it just started from there.
Favorite song? What's the song that if you heard it now that takes you back to your childhood when you were getting into music?
And Off the wall, like Thriller.
Mm,
That was really the one that changed the game for me, just from the emotion of that song, because I felt fear, and
mhm.
it was like an enjoyment but fear at the same time. So I was like, wow, I've never felt that before, and I was like, wow, that really intrigued me from a child, and then associating that with being able to play, it made me understand moods. And so I was just
Mm.
so intrigued by that, and just kind of just went into a rabbit hole from then.
Wow. And so when I read your background, the music bug hit you. You went to a performing arts school
Mm-hmm.
and got this opportunity. I remember Mark Morrison got this opportunity to work with him, for him to
Yeah,
see you, and then it just kept on going, 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 going.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, working and meeting Mark Morrison. Please tell me what that was about. How was that? He was huge.
Well, I was a church boy, you know, I'm from church.
Mhm.
So my first show with him is when he came out of jail. So
Uh-huh.
so
Right,
I was
right.
only like 17. So I was kind of like, you know, like, yo, this guy's been in jail. Like I didn't even know what he went to jail for. I just knew that he was in jail. And so we just did his very first show. And he was really nice, you know. Like I actually saw him when I went to London a couple of months ago. We was like dapped it up and was like, he said, "Yo, let's catch up and stuff." So I was like, he
That's
was great.
dope.
It was great.
That's
Yeah.
dope. How is it working, coming from London, coming over to the States, working with all these different people? How is that experience for you? Is there a difference working with artists overseas in London and the States?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I grew up listening to like American music. Like
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, everything that I loved growing up was like from George Duke or just like Stevie, you know, like all that just dope soul music.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, being in England, we didn't have that same story. So our sound wasn't the same because we couldn't like articulate it the same, but we could try and imitate it. And it's like, there just came a point where I was like, man, I just want to be around the people that actually do it. Their grandparents have been doing it or their parents, and it's just in them. So, like, because I feel like it's in me that much, but it's just starting from me. So I
Yeah.
want to just gravitate to the people that are in that world, like working with Alex, like her dad is Ernie Isley. So it's like she's been soaking that up, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to be around that kind of artistry. So that's why I moved.
That's amazing. Alex is a friend of the show. Love the song that you produced. Love
Thank
that
you.
project that you produced with
Thank
her.
you. No, thank
Um,
you.
your list is so impressive for people who are just into great music. LA, Xavier Omar, Sir, Rhapsody, Masego, like, wow. When you go in the studio with them, and you come out with these masterpieces, do you know, like, is there like this tingle, like a producer tingle, like we got something?
You know, like there's a lot of times in the studio because you know we just make music. We don't like have
Mm-hmm.
any briefs or anything like because it's coming up in the industry. They were like, oh, make it like this, make it like that, and it's like it always behind the wave. And we're just not in that space. We're in the space of like just create what we love. Let's talk about how we feel right now and speak about this and
Yeah.
be very present in what we do. So it's just been really like, you know, like just it's been like an honest journey. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone would just be in the room. And I haven't been in the room with every artist that I've been with. Some of the songs I made in St. Lucia, like just on my guitar, and I just sent to some of my other producers that I work with, and we just send it back to each other and we just build it. Because most of the songs were done during the pandemic. So I was already living in St. Lucia. So it's like some of the songs they've just had and they wrote to themselves. Like Alex wrote Love Again. Um, and I got the song back. So I wrote the music and she wrote the song on top of it, and we just kind of just worked
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So
I love when you step into your artistry. Let's talk about No More Maybes, working with Bibi
yeah,
Bourelly and India Shawn. Um, talk about just creating and putting yourself in that artistry center, making
yeah.
that song, how you put it together. Let's talk about that song because I really love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you know, like I said, it was a transition time from like, you know, being called. to be used for a service over working
Hmm.
with artists together, you know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like a, like I ain't doing that no more. Like I'm just done with it. Because it was crazy because just when I said like, you have to start speaking into things. So I started saying I'm a producer. I stopped saying like I'm a musical director. I just producer, producer, producer. And so like it just became one of those things that I was like, man, I got started getting calls for like Kid to go on tour with, and I just had to be like, nah, I can't do it because I've already like it's like I've been told I got to stay on this and just put my time towards it. So it was one of them songs that I was just like, yeah, look, just make a hard decision and stick with it and be
Right.
about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what that song is about. Just don't take it anymore. Put up your boundaries and do you.
I love it. That crossroad that you had saying, I'm about to just put both feet down. Um, how did you like you've talked about that, just staying into it because there's so many producers who are just as good as an artist. Um, how do you just continue to stay focused, putting an artistry, putting this whole project together? Because a full project is coming. What's your like daily rituals that you do?
Like it's for me, it's quite easy at this point when I had time to just sit still with myself. It's all about assignment, right? It's like, what are you
Mhm.
here for? Like, what's your why? My why doesn't consist of what anyone else thinks. You know what I'm saying? It consists of what I've been fed and then what I got to do. And that's really what I'm tunnel visioned about. So if that could be an example to other people to be like, listen, just other producers, you got thousands of tunes on your hard drive, just put them out. Like just a stigma to just keep all these songs until someone does something with it. No, you got them, give them to someone and just get it out. Like, so it's like some like people like Salam Remy, they've told me all of this stuff, like just get it out. So I've had really like great mentors in the game. And so I've just started applying that to myself instead of like starting to like work with all these artists that I've just worked with and I could just come and go. Like one day you're here, next day you're gone.
Yeah. Any words of advice from anyone that you've worked with in the studio that have kind of just helped you when you felt like, am I doing this right? Any words of advice with anyone that you could share?
Yeah, man. Like you just have to go out and explore. Like you have to see things and be true to like the moment. Like it's just like when you write in a journal, you have a blank page, but it will stay blank until you start writing on it. So you
Yeah.
have to literally just if like I've had moments where I felt like I had a writer's block, but I don't believe it because I was like, let me just do something. Maybe I can't write this second, but I could do something to set up when I do want to write. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think
Yeah.
of it as like just a block. The block is like because you say it, that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just you don't say that, you just kind of just get around it and just keep doing. It's all a practice at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's just something, it's you can
Yeah.
go back to it. So just
Yeah.
just keep
How
on.
does so you split your time in multiple places? I'm so curious when you're in St. Lucia, how does that help with your artistry and music?
St.
Tell me
Lucia
about St.
is
Lucia
St.
so I can go
Lucia
buy this
is
ticket.
St. Lucia is the real paradise. Like
Mhm.
it's very much untouched. It's still very, very natural. All the beaches are public, so you could go on any single beach. No one could tell you get off this beach. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mm.
a lot of fruit growing. There's a lot of like just nature. They've got the sulfur springs, they got like so much. I can keep going, so it's like, having a connection with nature is a
Hmm.
one-on-one experience, so it's like I got that time to sit under waterfalls or just chill with nature or just see the sunrise or see sunsets and just be still, which
Oh my
a
goodness.
lot of people don't get to do, but I got to do it with my guitar and I could just strum and just record on my phone or just vibe. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
So like when I'm other places, like when I'm in LA, I can create, I can write, but it's more of a production. Whereas where I'm in St. Lucia, it's more creative, it's silent. I'm with crickets or I'm just with
Yeah.
like, like just nature. So it's a different way of living, really. So it's a balance.
I love when I was preparing for our interview, your bio says you're a quiet hit maker.
Is it?
I love that. Quiet hit. Are you
I did.
normally quiet? Because you definitely are a hit maker.
Oh,
So
I
how do
appreciate
you
that. Thank you.
how do you channel that quietness to becoming this full artist? Because you got to do interviews, you got to do red carpets and all that. How do you
Yeah,
channel that quiet into being loud?
I'm still trying to figure that out, to be fair. I guess
uh,
that's why you haven't seen like much photos of me because ultimately, I want to be more. I shouldn't say I want to be. At the moment, I feel like I'm more of a sound or just a feel or vibration of good vibes over just like being a visual person. You know, like I
mhm.
feel like I'd rather you just play the music and go into your own world than rather just see something that I'm putting in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So I can try and steer it, but I'm just not really. I haven't been like very like camera friendly, you know. So I'm
Right.
learning. I'm learning. Though. I'm learning. Like this
I
is a
love
learning curve.
I love that. Look, it's always a growth as an artist. Well, just as this creative being, what
Mhm.
has been your goosebump moment to date
Oh man,
that
there's
you were like,
so
wow,
many. There's been so
wow,
many. Honestly, like I guess the number one is like sitting and speaking to Quincy Jones. Like
that's mine.
I just like I got like 5 minutes of just bars, literally just of just bars, you know, and just the same. I could say Stevie too. I got to meet him, and he's just full of knowledge.
See that those two are the ones that could. Can you share maybe a word of wisdom that Quincy or Stevie told you?
Man, Quincy said, man, just do what you believe, you know,
Hmm.
like, and he said that with conviction, like he looked in my soul because he knew that, like, he could tell, like, I'm there, like, I'm like, you know,
Hmm.
and so he really planted that seed and like just believing, and that was a time when believing was a struggle for me, and I had to work to get that belief going. So, you know, like, belief
Yeah.
is practice. So, just believe in yourself, and that was one of the ones that just really stuck with me. So,
Amazing. He is amazing being. That's one of my goosebump moments, meeting and talking to Quincy Jones years
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
I like to find out, when we talk about the music that No More Lies, you have this beautiful song, Difference Now, with
yeah,
Stacy Barth and Runkus. I'm familiar,
yes,
definitely familiar with Stacy Barth.
yeah,
I'd like to, and Runkus, I'd like to know how you put this together, this
yeah,
song, because it means a lot. It really has a lot of purpose.
yeah. This song, another pandemic record. You know, like a lot of the records happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And Stacy's one of the first people that I spoke to about the transition, and she literally, like another one, just spoke to my soul and was like, just believe again, like, just like she was like, I don't see why you don't see what I see, kind of thing. And I
Hmm.
was like,
Hmm.
wow, for her to say that because I respect her work so highly, just meant a lot, you know, because she doesn't have to say anything really. Um, and so, yeah, just working with her just taught me being honest in music again, like chords and just vibrations and moods and cadences and motifs, you know, like helps lines and
Hmm.
all of that, just how connectivity in music. And she teaches me
Yeah.
that in real life, you know. So it's a balance. The music is a balance of like the lifestyle, basically.
And tell me more about Runkus.
Man. So I met Runkus through a friend actually, Zenya. I was telling
Uh-huh.
her like I've got this record, and I could really hear like a Jamaican artist on there, and she was like, "Oh, I know this guy," and she was like, "I was like, who?" She's like, "Runkus, let me connect you with him," and I connected with him, and we just like I played him the record, and he was like, "Bro, send that to me immediately," and he just sent it back
Wow.
with his song.
The song is a vibe. It's such a vibe.
Thank
And
you.
writing the lyrics, it's a personal journey for you, right? Difference
It's
now.
real. Yes, it's
Yeah.
real. Yeah, yeah.
Where were you? Were you in St. Lucia's? Lucia, where were you when you wrote
Was
this song?
we was in between LA and St. Lucia. I think the chord structure
Hmm.
started in LA, and then I went to St. Lucia, started building it some more, and then I would visit LA, and then me and Stacey got in the studio, I think Ro James was there with us too. I think he was gonna have a verse
Bro.
on there, yeah, but we didn't get to cut the verse then.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so yeah, we just that was how we kind of got that done.
I love it. It's such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Um, your music community,
Hmm.
because you're all over. You're in LA, you're in St. Lucia. How has it been building your in London? How has it been building your community in the
Yeah,
music industry?
it's good, you know, like it's good to bounce around, you know, like
Yeah,
it's just like London has its own kind of scene going on. Um and but usually like the States is it's like I'm bouncing around with different artists, different producers, you know, and just it's been fun really because I'm not just doing working on my project, I'm working on other artists' projects as well. So just like being a part
yeah,
of that, what potentially can come out, is like being a part
yeah.
of the future. So
Yeah.
it's
What's the
good.
plan? I know that you have difference now and we're focused on that, but
Mm-hmm.
are you doing a collection of songs for a project in the future? What's the plan?
But the plan right now is just to like just get music out there, you know,
Yeah.
like just here's the vibe. If you like it, come on the journey. You know, if we feel like we could put a project together and you want to stick with me on it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, right now, it's about just dropping music.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love that.
yeah,
As an artist, there was a time when it was just so much pressure
yeah,
of I got to put these songs together, I got to do that.
yeah,
Have you looked at other people's careers like, oh, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do.
yeah. That
Yeah.
could be why I left it so late. so, so yeah, that could be why I left it so late because it's just like wow, I was like ooh, like whoa, because I was just
Yeah.
like MDing and just seeing so many different careers and artists being pulled around, and it's only till later, you know, like when the independent kind of deals started popping more, artists started getting a bit more freedom, and that's when I was kind of feeling like oh okay, maybe there's a space for me here to just do what I do with the kind of, you know, the artists that I'm friends with, or and you know I could just do my producer project right here, you know. So
Yeah. I love the diversity in your music. Is there anyone maybe in the music industry, like, or an artist that you would love to do like a collaboration with that you haven't? Because you touched a lot. You touched a
there's too
lot of people.
many. There's too many though. There's too many. There's like Kenyon Dixon. I'd love to do a collaboration with him. Jasmine
Hmm.
Sullivan. I was at MD when she did her UK tours, so maybe you know, hopefully we can collaborate at
That's
some
dope.
point. Her, you know, she's
Yeah.
definitely. I'd love to work with her. So the list goes on. Melanie Fiona,
Wow.
you know, like
All your
my
community.
community, yeah, my family.
When we look at your legacy, and as you continue to build it, how do you want to leave a legacy? What is your thoughts as far as musically?
Yeah. Just feel good music, honest music, just you know, just like godly, you know, like I want it to feel like it's a hug from God almost because He gave it to me, you know. So it's like
Yeah,
I'm literally just a vessel. So if I'm known for just being a vessel for God, that can communicate great music into sound, like great feelings into sonic, into sound, then I'm happy with that.
that's beautiful. Beautiful. When you look at all your awards and different just plaques, and making music, what is the most satisfying thing as far as being an artist? And that's my last question. I want to go. What's most satisfying to date as you
Yeah.
evolve?
Um, the most satisfying to date is having an outlet to have to put out my music. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's something that I've been working very hard for because it's like there's a lot of like distribution companies out there that could just throw music out there. But I wanted to find someone that would care about the music as well, that really sees the long game and not just like, let's just try and get numbers and just be about that. Let's build and make people go back to hear what they may have missed in the beginning, you know? So
Yeah.
that's really like the game changer, just being able to like, yes, and now we can start dropping music every month if we want, you know. So and so that's really like the biggest next step for me because you know, like I said, the project will come, and hopefully you could do like, you know, shows and all of that kind of stuff as well. Like, so
I love that. I love that. I said that was my last question, but one thing that struck me, I was like, okay, curious, let me discover this. You have a music tech company, SSTM. How did that come about? How did
that
you
was
start
another
that?
that was another pandemic.
The pandemic was good to you.
The pandemic was a game changer for me. Honestly, it really gave me time to sit with myself and be like, bro,
Yeah,
what do you want to do moving forward? Where do you see yourself? And if, however you see yourself, you got to work to get there. And so it's like, all right, let's go. So I'm
wow.
in go time. So yeah, that was a project. It's on hold at the moment, but like it's just we kind of like I wanted to just have something black on, like in the music world.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, you know, like if it be a keyboard, and so the conversation started from keyboard to what if it had this functionality, or what if we did this, and so it just turned into like a whole kind of project that we did get funding for, and we just like you know got a couple of awards for it, just the idea. So it's like
I love
it's
it.
great. There's more to come on that for sure.
You have a beautiful mind. I already see that,
Thank
and
you. I
we
appreciate that.
appreciate that. We
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. I want to thank you for just stepping out of your way and just completing that artistry with being a
Thank you.
producer, singer, songwriter. And
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
looking so much. We're looking forward to more music. Thank you
Oh,
for No
thank
More
you.
Maybes. And I
Yes.
think that Difference Now, I love that you have all these versions. I could just put it on repeat.
Right.
So I can put it on
Yeah.
repeat and
Yeah,
vibe,
yeah.
but we support you and we just thank you for just
I
putting
appreciate that.
all this beautiful music for us today.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
guest today is Tave. Please follow him. Call me Tave
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
his social media, and we look forward to seeing you on somebody's stage,
Hey, hopefully
somewhere in the
soon.
world. Look, and crossing you like at a beach in St. Lucia.
Right? From your mouth to
Okay.
God's ears, for
That
sure.
that's right. Thank you once again. My guest today is Tave. It's the Hybrid Soul with Kelly Kinkaid, your destination for music and culture discovery.